How easy is it to implement your retention policy with paper documents? Companies are actually still keeping paper documents, and paper documents really have a lot of challenges. Some of the challenges we are facing with these paper documents includes things like storage space. Paper document tends to take a lot of space as they're accumulating over time, and this is space that can be used and for productive work. It can be used as an office space, but you find like paper documents are occupying this space, and it's not bringing any additional value. I remember there's a time we went for a discovery call to a circle, and they were telling us they've been storing paper documents for 50 years. They had paper documents all over. They had in the basement, they had in the stores. There are some rooms which were not even being utilized, but they'd stored paper documents there. But they were not ready to eliminate any of these documents because they were worried. They were worried that in case they dispose of these documents, their clients would always reach when the clients reach out, they would have difficulties in navigating through their loan document. And I asked them, what about if the person passed on? And they were like, some with the deceased, when they have a deceased person who was in the circle, their grandchildren usually come up to claim their loans, to find out their records on what happened. So they were not ready to dispose of these documents. And yet, these documents were really wasting a lot of space. There's also unproductive times. Now we look at it when clients are searching for documents in this space. It takes a lot of time and it wastes a lot of time. Staff have to search whenever clients come in. A number of staff have to stop doing their productive work to help look for these documents. And also, you can imagine if a client comes in, the client has to give time for this document to be looked for. And the client might not get his details immediately. He has to even give the staff a whole week to search for their documents because it is tedious looking for these documents and it wastes a lot of time. And now you also find sometimes these documents are lost or they are misplaced. And this makes it even more worse because it will take even longer to get these documents. And this work is quite tedious with these paper documents. So you can imagine these documents have accumulated for all this time. And now they even want to dispose of some documents. They're not sure, or they have to just make a certain amount of time. They have to give it a period of days to start sorting out these documents and to eliminate the ones that have reached the end of their retention period. This company is actually missing out on technology. And with this, there's the improvement. They lag behind in productivity and efficiency in the company. Because as it happens now, technology is speeding up the processes. So if they go on with these paper documents, obviously they lose out on the competitors. So what are they missing out by missing out on this technology? One, they're keeping unstructured data that is not being utilized. This is the data that is occupying a lot of space. Already it's occupying space, it's wasting a lot of resources, and then it's also unstructured. It's not bringing any value to the company. Whereby it can be digitized and this data extracted to collect data and have it structured and organized, which can be used for analysis and for getting insights. And then number two, with these paper documents, you see, when technology comes in, obviously automation can be done systematically, but with the paper document, it slows down automation. So everything is being done manually. Everything is manually. Searching for these documents is manually. Data entry is manual, and this can take a long time. This causes frustration, and the morale can really get low when it comes to the staff. And then number three, there is non-adherence to the Data Protection Act, which says only necessary documents that are in use should be kept. So you can imagine you have this pile of documents and you have to sort out and ensure you only remain with the documents that are in use. You can try and just imagine how much time it will take for these documents to be sorted out and to eliminate the ones that are not being used at all and the ones that are going to be used when it is in this paper space. Now, like the circle which was having documents for 50 years, that would be a different job altogether. And this one is they would need additional resources just to bring in people to do that work. And then number four, I believe there would also be data breaches because they've accumulated so much documents, unnecessary documents, some unnecessary. So losing documents, losing data here is very high. And also when a file is missing, they'll not even notice. So data breach can be very high in this instance. So what is the best solution to ensure that the retention policy works? What I can advise here is for the company to embrace digitization, to have these paper documents converted into digital format. And this will be set up so that the retention and disposal policy is implemented. It's just automated, so it automatically works for them without without human interference. But just the human aspect only comes in for validation. And with the digital documents, the company is able to adhere to the Data Protection Act because they'll be able to eliminate the documents that are not necessary. And also the companies is able to reduce on the data breaches because they'll be able to only store the documents that are necessary and do away with the documents that are not necessary. And also they'll be having all their unstructured data, be able to have structured and organized data that can structured and organized information that they can use for analysis and gathering insights. And this would change the trajectory of the company. So for the retention policy to work, the company has to embrace digitization.